What's up, guys on Network Nation? I am here live, well, not live to you, but live to me, bringing you my top 12 running backs for the 2023 season. This is, again, Guys on Network. This is Guys on Sports. You can find us at GON Podcast. And you can find me on TikTok and Twitter, GON Crusty Mark. If you want to follow and get yourself some fantastic fantasy advice throughout the year. Without further ado, boys, here is the dynamic tops. No, further ado. I apologize. So last year, I called Josh Jacobs.
Are you patting yourself on
like
the back
again? Like a goddamn boss. Okay. I did it like a goddamn boss. I called Josh Jacobs. I said he was going to win you leagues, and guess what? That guy went out there and he won you leagues. Josh Jacobs was an absolute monster. I don't know what it is, man. Is it a sixth sense? Is it a third eye? I don't know, but I've definitely got my finger on the pulse of the future.
It's a strong stench.
When it comes to fantasy football running backs. And without further ado.
All right. Hey, real quick. So you're going to run through these.
More ado. For crying out loud.
More
I
ado.
said no further ado.
We're not going to say
We didn't
anything.
even get a
We
word.
keep it doing.
Okay. No more ado.
Yeah.
All right. No more ado.
You would do.
All right. Without further ado, the top 12. I'm going to surprise you with the first two. Number 12.
Oh, you're counting down. Okay.
Yeah, right? We went 12 to 1. I thought we did that every time.
That works.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we did.
I thought we did the
that's
other
how
way.
you unveiled Fields number 1.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You shocked the world.
Shocked the world.
You made my heart thump.
Matthew Berry had him at 5, so I'm not that far off.
No,
Yeah, well, Matthew
just
Berry's
4.
also, whatever.
I mean, you said it's about 20 points between them, so I don't think it's that big a deal, huh?
That was some, guys, guess what? There's a ton of ado going on.
All right.
There's a lot of ado.
Go with it.
Why don't
Number
you be
12.
a man and just
All right.
have some presence?
Without further ado,
Okay.
boys, no more adoing.
No more dues.
Ado done. Done and doing. Number 12, Isaiah Pacheco. You might disagree, but guess what? He's in Kansas City. He's the guy. They're going to need him. They got young wide receivers. Isaiah Pacheco's your guy at 12. Number 11, Alexander Madison. Guess what?
Alexander Madison.
Minnesota doesn't know what they're doing right now with Dalvin Cook. And guess what? He's long in the tooth. He's a little banged up, and I think he's out of there because guess who they contracted back up on? Alexander Madison. Coming at you, number 11.
He also has dreads.
He also has dreads. Well, I think they both have dreads.
Well, that's the point.
Oh, yeah. Number 10, Najee Harris. Dr. Rebound. He is coming back at you here in Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett's going to he's going to round out this team a little bit better this year. He's got the jitters out of the way. Najee's going to regain form. Najee Harris, number 10. Number 9, Travis Etienne. Had him up a little bit higher originally, but after looking at their schedule, I'm not really liking what Jacksonville has to deal with. I think they're going to throw the ball a lot. They got a lot of weapons. They're going to spread it around. Travis Etienne at number 9. Number 8, guess what? I got Chubb, Nick Chubb, number 8. Kareem Hunt is gone. Nick Chubb is the sole recipient of all them carries and all them receptions. Number 7, King Henry. I mean, you can't argue with it, right? The guy's got like a top 5 strength of schedule against the run game this year. He's not super old. He's got some tread on the tires, but guess what? It's King Henry, and the guy works out like a beast. He's your guy there at number 7. Number 6, this guy fell to, well, let me start that over. I apologize. Number 6, Austin Eckler. He drops down my list a little bit because of the uncertainty out there in Los Angeles. He will land somewhere and be the guy if it's not Los Angeles. So he takes a little bit of a hit because of that uncertainty. Number 5, Bijan Robinson. The hype is real, folks. This guy is going to run the rock. Atlanta runs the rock the most. Bijan is a generational talent. This guy stays healthy, stays on the field. This guy is looking at a very dynamic rookie season that's going to rival any rookie running back in recent memory. Number 4, Jonathan Taylor. He was consensus number 1 last year, fell off the charts a little bit this year. I think with the addition of Anthony Richardson, this team is going to look to hand him the ball and get it to him very often. I like what he's doing. Anthony Richardson might vulture a couple of goal line touchdowns there, but Jonathan Taylor is going to be your guy in Indianapolis. Number 3, say no more Saquon Barkley. Guess what? New York has the toughest strength of schedule against the pass. What does that mean? They're going to have to rely on running the ball. Guess who trips over goddamn phantom lines? Danny Dimes. Guess who doesn't?
Not anymore, he doesn't.
Guess who doesn't? Saquon Barkley. He's going to get the ball a lot, and I think, honestly, you could talk about him being number one overall. I think any of these top three guys are pretty interchangeable at this point. Number 2. Guess what? If Jerry Jones got off Zeke, let me start that over again. Holy crap.
I'm not taking that out. Push through, guy.
You said you're going.
I'm not taking out every
You're
mistake.
going to edit, you bastard.
I'm not editing that out. How many times did I mess up?
Just gotta be a man here.
Play through, guy.
Gotta be a man here.
Number 2.
This guy's making notes.
Number 2. Tony Pollard. You heard it here.
Tony Pollard, too.
I wanted Tony Pollard number 1, but honestly, I think number 1 is going to be back to form. But if Jerry Jones gets off of Zeke, guess what? You can too. Tony Pollard played, he split carries with Zeke last year and still put up those monster numbers. I think as the guy this year, Tony Pollard is going to rival number 1, who is Christian McCaffrey. And how can you not like McCaffrey in San Francisco? That team is set up for offense. They're going to get crappy quarterback play again this year. They're going to pass to their wide receivers a lot around the line of scrimmage. They're all dynamic. Any of these guys can score. Christian McCaffrey is going to definitely fit into this lineup very well now that he knows the playbook 100%.
All right. Thank you.
Heard it.
I mean, where was Josh Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs. So I wanted to mention that at the beginning. I know that last year I called Josh Jacobs. I avoid Josh Jacobs this year. I feel an injury coming at some point.
So it's a gut thing, huh?
And I also, I don't like how they're set up. Jimmy Garoppolo comes into that offense. They face one of the toughest strength of schedules against the pass, which means they're going to have to run, but teams are going to know that they're going to run. And I don't know if Josh Jacobs is going to be as dynamic as he was last year.
All right, but let me I gotta push you just a little bit on this.
Push me.
You cited Saquon having a big year because of the same reason you're saying Jacobs won't.
Yeah, but
Back yourself into a corner.
It's a hunch. It's a hunch, man.
Right.
No. Well, I didn't mention the injury bug with Saquon, but I also.
But you have
that's
him at
every year
3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't mention an injury bug. I mentioned an injury bug. I fear an injury for Josh Jacobs. I don't fear an injury for Saquon.
Okay.
And not only that, Saquon is also a much more dynamic back than Josh Jacobs is as well.
All right, so the only 2 things, there's a couple things. The 2 biggest things that stood out to me was Saquon at 3, and that's because if we would have got to guy you're staying away from this year, Saquon would be my guy based on value, like where he's going. But the injury thing, more times than not, his history says he's going to get hurt. They went and drafted Nick Gray, who's a better than advertised runner, and he's on a 1-year deal. So you could say maybe they're going to try to run the wheels off him. You could also say maybe they're going to try to phase him out with Nick Gray just being drafted in the 4th round. So I'm a little iffy on him at 3. And who'd you have at 2?
Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard. I love Tony Pollard. And it's bold of you to put him at 2.
He's going to be number 1.
A little too bold for my blood, and here's why.
Tony Pollard is this year's Josh Jacobs.
Here's why. He's had some injuries in his past, too, and I haven't seen him as a bell cow yet. And that's the only concern I have with him.
You can have all the concern you want. It's cute that I think that you think what you're talking about.
This is not an attack. You should not be relaxed. I was saying that's my concerns with him is just can he play 17 games and be a bell cow back? To get you to number. He has to be there every week to be that guy. So that's the only thing that worries me with him. I haven't seen it. I'm not saying it's crazy because I think the offense for him to thrive in is there in Dallas, and the talent's obviously there. It's just can he stand up to the schedule? That's what would be my concern with him. I have to see it.
So I think one thing that really pushes me towards Tony Pollard is I think that you're watching Dallas evolve in real time, right? Like all the memes are real. Like this team has not won a championship in 3 decades. Like this,
it's their year.
Not that it's their year, but it's not leaning on running the ball hard, right? And Tony Pollard is more of that pass catching back that I think they're going to change the script a little bit. Instead of pounding the ball like they did years ago 25 times with Zeke, I think you're going to probably get 16 to 17 runs with Tony Pollard, and you're going to have a lot of pass catching ability out of the backfield scripted into their gameplay. I think them bringing in Brandon Cooks and moving Michael Gallup to wide receiver 3, I think really changes the dynamic of this offense. It shows that they're going to have a propensity for putting the ball in the air.
Yeah.
And this guy is an amazing receiver, and we're talking PPR leagues. That's why he is easily my number 2.
Anything stand out to you there?
No, nothing that you haven't mentioned. I also think Pollard, I know what you're saying about them passing. I'd like to see him be an every down back. I'd like to see him last the whole season, and he's a good receiver. He's not I think Zeke's a better receiver out of the backfield than him. That's just me.
That's because Zeke's from Ohio State and Tony Pollard isn't. That's why.
How dare you? The Ohio State. Don't you ever forget
That's
it.
the only reason why you like Zeke better.
That half shirt is pretty sexy too. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is, Pollard has been electric when he's been right and on the field, right?
Yes.
But it has been mostly in a reserve role.
Yeah.
So a lot of now it's not saying that it can't go the right way, but a lot of times guys like that, when they get a full role, they just don't look the same. They don't have the same burst
That's fair.
in the third, fourth quarter that they did coming off the bench. So that'd be the only concern. Everything else kind of checks out. It's just that's the only thing that makes me hesitant.
They're fair questions. I'm just letting you know that he is that guy.
I like Bijan at 5.
Oh, yeah. I actually think Bijan has the ability to crack the top 3, too.
I think the volume is going to be there. It's just going to be, the same thing with him. The rookie can, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was higher than 5 either. So,
Yeah.
Good list. I thought it was a good list. I mean, you got a few little surprises in there, which
You
is
got to,
always
man.
nice.
You got to shake it up. I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, the guy that you want to go out and target, if you're drafting early, is Alexander Madison. Because the value that you're getting on this guy, you're getting a potential stud in your very late rounds because no one's on him as the starter. And I think it's inevitable. I think the writing's on the wall. I think Alexander Madison takes over the backfield this year.
I think it's the cops coming to get you for that Pollard take.
Yeah.
Might be.
too.
They're going
You
to
got
arrest me.
something? You feel like
No.
you're looking for something to say. there.
No, well, I was actually trying to see it because I feel like there was a lot of Pollard and Zeke on the field together, which gave Pollard a little bit of which one's getting the ball.
Who's in there? Who's on their depth chart now at the running back position?
Malik Davis is the number 2.
Yeah. Unless has Zeke signed anywhere?
No, and they haven't ruled out bringing him back. But as of right now, the depth chart goes Tony Pollard, Malik Davis, and they just drafted Deuce Vaughn, whose father's on the staff, and it was that emotional draft day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if
touching.
Zeke winds up back there.
Yeah,
He might.
there or maybe Cincinnati.
They need somebody.
Yeah, they do, and I think
I'd rather
him
have
returning
Zeke right
to
now than
Ohio.
Mixon. That's crazy.
Yeah, Mixon's got some issues.
Nixon's always had issues. I mean, the guy punched a woman in college for crying out loud.
But what did she say?
Who cares?
Well, and the thing is, there's you shoved a woman, and then there's you knocked
mixed
him
him.
out, and he
You mix in the woman.
He just shoved her in the face, Rocky.
he shoved her in the face like she was a man he was trying to kill. It was bad. It looked bad,
Maybe she looked like a man. All right. So that was great, Mark. Sign us out.
All right. So there you have it. Your top 12 running backs that will win you leagues this year. All right. You can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on TikTok, Facebook. What are we on? What are we on? We're on Apple Tunes. We're on Spotify.
Anywhere you can find your
Anywhere,
podcast.
dude. Just type in GON or Guys on Network. One of our names, what that alias. Look up our little logo there. You'll find us, man. We're everywhere.
Yeah, and if you're seeing this and you like this, watch the main show. We talked about our Dynasty rookies, top 5 this year. We got a bunch of stuff up there leading up to the season. We're going to have a bunch of fantasy content, bunch of Mark's rankings, Rocky's rankings, picks throughout the year, a bunch of stuff. And go to the chalkboard, link in our bio on all the social platforms. At GON Podcast. Thank you, Mark. That was a great list.
Thank you.
We'll see if you're really the gypsy that you look like. Peace.